Welcome to Corvette Today, the podcast that talks about everything Corvette, with your host Steve Garrett, MC and DJ at one of the largest Corvette weekends in the country, Corvette Fun Fest, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 40 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google" or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. Be sure and visit the updated Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can also access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join the Corvette Today Facebook group there and sign up for Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at corvettetoday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, you can subscribe to the Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube. And be sure and patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, mid-enginecorvetteforum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at mid-enginecorvetteforum.com. And Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 different unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvettes. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit aerolarri.com, that's AEROLARRI.com, and use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. And a shout out to Corvette Forum and Canadian CorvetteForum.com, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. It's time to get you up to date on the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Keith is here every other week. We both keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. Autumn is here, isn't it, buddy?
Man, it's great. In Florida, the weather has finally calmed down. Those hot days are still warm during the day, but the mornings and the evenings are perfect for those Corvette cruises along Tampa Bay. So you're going to have to take advantage of those shortly here.
Very nice. Well, let's start, as we always do, with our news and headlines show and get an update on Corvette production at the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
Absolutely. So Chevrolet kicked off the 2024 Corvette model year on September 18th. And we've learned since then that they are actually only building Stingrays right now over these last 2 weeks. We'll discuss more about that in just a minute. But our production numbers, they always lag a day or two, but we're showing around 1,308 Corvette Stingrays built in those first 8 days of the model year. And we'll probably have around 1,650 by the start of the week. So they are really cranking them out there. You know, the last time we were on the podcast, the UAW strike had just kicked off. So there were a couple unknowns happening at the time. But we did confirm that Friday with a representative of the Bowling Green Assembly Plant that workers did complete the 2023 model year on September 15th. And then the 2024 model year is kicked off beginning that Monday, the 18th.
That's exactly right. And let's get the latest update on the UAW strike as well.
The very first week, only 3 facilities were targeted, one from each of the automakers. But then in the second week, it was expanded. So the UAW targeted 18 GM facilities. And these are facilities that act as parts and distribution sites. GM has already had to idle their Fairfax plant because of some parts were being made at its Wentzville plant in St. Louis. That was the very first one that was targeted by the UAW. So now by them going after these warehouse sites, we risk getting parts impacted to these assembly plants. And then there's also replacement parts for dealership service departments. So far, the assembly plant is still operating and the quantities as discussed have all been good. But the longer this goes, the more likely we're going to see an impact in Bowling Green. As we record this on Friday, we're actually expecting that the UAW will widen the scope of the walkout even further. So it's always stay tuned for details.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's a lot of Corvettes parked in the yard waiting for parts, aren't there?
Yeah, it's a really tough situation to be in, both for people Bowling Green, the workers there, as well as, the owners that are just wanting their cars. It's one of the stories we've been working on for a little over a week now. Hundreds of Corvettes are parked behind the factory waiting on parts to complete them. A friend of ours had flown a drone over the plant on August 28th, and so if you see those drone photos, they were taken a month ago. We're hoping that the situation has eased a little bit. What we were hearing was that you have these hundreds of Corvettes sitting in these lots. In fact, these were lots that I didn't even really know about. I went back and had to compare them to some other flyovers that we had photos of earlier, like back in 2020 and 2021 when the C8 was brand new. They're utilizing these lots. These cars are just parked in there. They're not covered. They're fully painted cars, obviously. But we've been hearing then also from owners and buyers saying, my car was built on August 9th and it's still there. And I talked to that guy earlier this week. His car is still there. Another guy had his car built later in August, still waiting. The forums are filled with people, talking about this as well. We've heard secondhand that there are some supply chain issues affecting the finishing of these cars, and it does appear that it's carbon fiber again. We all obviously know the supply of the Z07 carbon fiber aero has always been tight, but the shortages may have extended the dive planes, the engine appearance package, and even the level 1 interior carbon fiber packages we're hearing are being affected. One of these guys that had a Z06 just had his car released, and he believes his issue was the engine appearance package. He says finally they did the wiring install for the engine bay light, and then he ended up getting an $895 credit for the option on his car. That's a really good scenario if that's the case, because that's the hardest thing is getting that light in there. You can always go out and pick up those carbon fiber closeout panels aftermarket or through another dealer somewhere. You can always add those later. So that actually worked out pretty good for him other than the weight. It's just something we're watching closely. We think that when the 2024 Corvettes began production, they only started with the Stingrays, and that was hopefully to give that supply chain a moment to catch up and then use those parts to complete these waiting 2023 Corvettes. Like I said, it's a bad situation for all around. In fact, one of the last points we make, we talked to a small dealership about this. He's got a car that's been there since August. He's not going to get it this month, and so he doesn't get paid on it. Chevy reps don't get paid until the cars are delivered, and they can't deliver a car until it's sent to the dealership. This affects everybody all the way around. One last point is we think they'll need to clear this backlog first before releasing all the 2023 production statistics, because these cars aren't invoiced yet, so they're not considered complete, which is why we may not have that full number from Chevrolet on what exactly they finished the 2023 production number at.
Gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that.
There's so many different aspects of the story, but obviously the worst one is that customers are sitting there, customers that had plans to go to the museum to do their R8C delivery, those are being canceled left and right. It's a big mess.
Yeah, it really is. Well, we did have some good news about 2024's, Keith. Z06 and E-Ray allocations came in starting Thursday of last week.
Exactly, yeah. So last Thursday, another ordering cycle for the Corvette was specifically for E-Ray and Z06, and it's actually the first orders for the E-Ray. Quantities are going to be low at first. The plant's going to do this deliberate roll-up as it did with the Z06. In fact, Chad said that they were going to be doing a very deliberate rollout during his talk at Carlisle. The quantities that we got from the E-Ray allocations from some of the large volume dealers, we can't mention specific numbers, but they were all single digits. So it really tells you that if the big volume dealers are getting single digits, then they're going to be very slow for everybody else going out there. We are seeing issues with parts for the new E-Ray. With the allocations, obviously, we got constraints as well. And so we're seeing constraints on these new alloy wheels for the E-Ray. This is more likely a launch issue than it is a supply chain. It's a brand new car. They're ramping up there. We saw the very first constraints for the new colors, and now all those have gone away. There doesn't appear to be any constraints on those new colors. We're hoping that's the case for the E-Ray wheels, but then there's also carbon fiber, and that's affecting both the E-Ray and the Z06. Again, the engine appearance package is on constraint. The interior carbon fiber package is on constraint. And then for Z06, the carbon fiber woes, they go to the high wings and the ground effects, and it's affecting both the visible carbon fiber versions as well as the carbon flash painted. So it's not one way or the other. It's both of those are being affected there. One of the ways around that ZZ3 engine appearance package constraint is you can order the RPO D3V. D3V. It's the wiring harness and light into the engine bay. Of course, we're talking coupes only, I believe. This is cost just $100. And then, like I said, you can go aftermarket on the carbon fiber closeout panels or customize it with exterior painted panels to really customize up your engine bay. This is a new option for 2024, so hopefully dealers are aware of that and do that for you if you had the engine appearance package on your order.
Carbon fiber, buddy, it's a blessing and a curse.
I hear you there.
Well, let's take our first break, Keith. When we come back, it's Corvette Racing and Corvette Rumors on deck next at Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome, with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
If you park your car in your garage and you cover it up with a car cover, think of all the moisture that's coming up from the floor. All that mold and mildew is attracting to your car, your interior. There's rust forming on the suspension underneath. You don't have that with Car Capsule. This is Wayne Carini from Chasing Classic Cars, and this is my 2020 Corvette. If you want to protect your investment, get a Showcase by Car Capsule. No dust, no mildew, and no rust.
The Radiator Grill Store offers C8 Corvette A-pillar wind diffusers in beautiful carbon fiber or OEM gloss black that help reduce wind buffeting when a window is open. Easy installation and OEM fitment. Plus, get 10% off your total purchase with the promo code CT10 at radiatorgrillstore.com.
Are you ready to take your Corvette to the next level? Look no further than Classic Trim Customs. We've manufactured some of the most impressive Corvette parts on the market, from engine bay panels to splitters and side skirts. With over 30 years of experience in hydrographics, we've perfected the technique and use only state-of-the-art materials and equipment to ensure the highest quality and precision. Visit our website at ClassicTrimCustoms.com or give us a call at 305-258-3090 to learn more about our products and services. Whether you want to create a show-stopping ride or just add a touch of personalization, the sky is the limit with Classic Trim Customs. Let us help you create the Corvette of your dreams.
And now, back to Corvette Today with your host and my husband, Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. Every other week, we keep you current and up to date on what's happening in the world of Corvette. In segment number 2, we always talk about Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. Keith, how did Corvette racing do at Indianapolis?
Well, it was a great venue, great to be at the Brickyard, but not so good for the Corvettes that day. Obviously, the C8R was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They did a race called the Battle of the Bricks, which takes place on the road that goes around IMS. All weekend, the team kind of complained about, they just couldn't get it into gear, so to speak. They couldn't find their speed. I think they qualified in 5th position, P5, and unfortunately, that's where they finished in 5th place for the race. They just could not hang with the class leaders no matter how hard they tried. The final race of the year actually comes up in 2 weeks. It's the 10-hour Petite Le Mans happening on Saturday, October 14th at Road Atlanta. I believe we are second still in the standings, but the leader would just have to maybe crash out during the warm-up laps, and then we would have to win, I think, to really have any chance of getting those points to take the lead there. I think we'll end up probably in second place for the championship this year, unless, like I said, something really goes gangbusters at Petite Le Mans, in which case, you never know. It's a 10-hour race.
Well, that'll be interesting to see. I always like Petite Le Mans. It's a lot of fun. In the rumors category, Keith, we got a lot of them. We think that we saw 2 ZR1 prototypes spotted in Colorado, and these had no wheel covers on them, so we saw the wheels possibly for the new ZR1.
Yeah, we had a really good week watching the Corvette ZR1 prototypes. They were testing out around Golden, Colorado, which is a very high altitude, so they do their high altitude drives around there. And again, what was unique about this group of testing cars was they did not have these round covers to hide their wheels, and especially the rear wheels. So on the front, they had the C06, the Spider aluminum wheels. But on the rears, they had this new design that we'd seen leaked before, and it was considered as the new ZR1 wheel, but they were off the car. So now here they are on the car, and they do have a distinctive pattern that looks just like the ZR1 wheels on the 2019 Corvette ZR1. So that's why a lot of us are really thinking that these are specific to the ZR1 and these are ZR1s. But for each model from Stingray to Z06 to E-Ray, Chevy has always hid the wheel designs until the full public reveal of the car. And then once the car is revealed, they take all the camo off, they take off the wheel covers, and you can see everything because everybody's seen it already. It's already been photographed. But for whatever reason here, they decided to run their cars without these covers on. And we got a really good look at them at multiple sightings last week.
I really like them. They look really good. And we also got video of a ZR1 taking off with no sound.
Yeah, this is interesting, and again, I think it's just a combination of a number of different factors, but it was another sighting of cars. There was a video, the guy driving a car was turning off of a road, and the ZR1 prototypes were behind him, so he lowered his window and captured them as they drove past them. Now, they're only going about 45 miles an hour or so, but they were really quiet, which made some people obviously thinking, are these EVs? Are these hybrids? Is this an E-Ray driving in stealth mode? We had another video capturing the same cars at idle, and there's definitely an ICE engine going on in the back there. You can trick people and put exhaust ports on a car that's an EV. When you have sound coming out of them, it's a nice engine.
Yeah.
The other conversation then turned of, well, the ZR1, is that the ZR1 with the Z06 with twin turbos, or is it going to be the Z06 engine with the E-Ray front drive motor? Where's it going to get that extra horsepower from? We actually think the ZR1 is going to have the turbos, and actually turbos can kind of quiet a car even further if it's not driven under heavy throttle at all. I mean, they kind of act like a secondary muffler in a way. Our take on it is as he rolled down his window, you hear the cars drive by, but there's road noise from those big tires, riding down the road there. I think that's what we were hearing there. It kind of drowned out any kind of motor noise there. Another video, like I said, was directly taken behind the car, and it was bumbling away there like it does. We'll know for sure what the engine drivetrain of the ZR1 is once they are publicly revealed, but there's going to be speculation going back and forth. And until somebody can really hear turbo sounds, no one's going to be satisfied with the answer until the actual reveal. So it's just one of these things where they're working their black magic, doing their thing, and then we just have to be surprised when it comes out.
We have to be patient. Patience is a virtue, right, buddy?
And that's very hard for Corvette people, and especially those of us that are really watching new products and seeing how they're doing. We're really excited about the future.
Amen, buddy. In the first segment, we talked about allocations coming out for the Z06 and the E-Ray. We actually had rumors of an E-Ray confirmed at 3,000 status, didn't we?
Yeah, so the news came the day before the order banks opened last Thursday. Dealers can submit, since I think late August, they've been able to submit orders into the order banks, but they all go in at 1,100. They just accepted, we got your order. We haven't looked at it. It takes a lot of work to put those orders in. So they might put them in earlier, and then what happens is they'll get the call and say, you got allocation, so then they can match that order to an allocation, and then it really becomes an order. We think one of these initial orders just got picked up a day earlier. It was confirmed with a printout from the GM order bank as it being at 3,000 status. 3,000 status means the car was accepted by production control and that these cars will be produced shortly. Because this is the first order round for the E-Ray, we know that they were going to start hopefully again with strike and supply chain and all that, but the official first day of the E-Ray is supposed to come October 23rd. By going to status 3,000 right away, they're all set up to be produced starting that week. We think this was just an early car. It got picked up a little bit early, but it was confirmed with a printout from the GM order bank, which made it significant because technically the order cycle didn't start until Thursday when this happened on Wednesday.
That's pretty cool. Here they come, and I hope that the UAW strike doesn't mess it up. That'll be great.
Boy, we're praying.
Fingers crossed, buddy. Let's take our final break, Keith. When we come back, it's the lighter side of Corvette coming up next on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
VetteFinders.com is the internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25, and every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetteFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetteFinders.com, the internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
You're enjoying the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today.
Hey, thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best. Dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. Every other week, we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. And if you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that Keith and I cover, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always talk about the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, this was really cool. A C3 Corvette got what I call a Mako-over, meaning it's looking like a Mako Shark II, isn't it?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is a video that was put out by a site called Ridiculous Rides. They did a feature on a guy who found a Mako Shark Corvette riding out in the field. The Mako Shark I was the genesis for the C3 Corvettes. I mean, the long body, the big nose on the front. And then a couple years later in the mid-'60s, they did the Mako Shark II, which was a show car that was much more aggressive. And you know who really loved that Mako Shark II was Joel Rosen of Motion Performance, the guys up in New York that were buying cars and then putting in the big 427s and hot rodding them. Well, he had these Mako Shark kits made and then modified for the C3s. So there were some kits out there that were being built. That's what we think this car was, because it already had the Mako Shark II very aggressive rear on the car, and then the front was there as well, but it was in pieces. This guy knew exactly what it was. He always loved the Mako Shark II and did this huge restoration on the car, and it's just beautiful today, as you saw in the video. And of course, the original Mako Shark II had a ZL1 in it. He probably did a 427 in his car as well. I mean, just a beautiful car, but it's unfortunate because it's one of those cars, he says it's so beautiful and it's very powerful that he hardly ever drives it above 60 miles an hour just because he wants to preserve it and be safe with it. And that's always the kind of shame with these kind of cars. You know, you spend all that money and time to create your dream car and then you're afraid to drive it. It is a beautiful car and it's definitely worth a video to watch.
That's really cool. And it looked fantastic. I loved it. Also, we had a real sad story. We had another Corvette fall off a lift at a dealership, and this time it was a Z06.
Yeah, another Corvette has fallen and it can't get up, Steve. How do these service techs continue to make these rookie mistakes? I could see at the very beginning of the C8 era where the jacking points were moved backwards because now we have 60% of the weight in the rear, and you have to accommodate that with the engine back there. So now here we are 4 years later into the model, and a brand new Corvette Z06 that was a Chevrolet dealership undergoing PDI prior to delivery fell off the lift. And not only that, not only the pictures are painful, but there's actually video that shows it coming down as well. Imagine your car going through PDI delivery and you're getting that call thinking, oh, it's come pick up your car. And it's no, your brand new car fell off the lift and damaged, so you can't get it now. And then what do? You demand a new one? Is it fixable in a way that you'd be satisfied with it? It's just not a good situation at all. They're like gold, right, Steve?
Oh, absolutely. And that's not going to buff out either, is it?
No, it was painful to watch. And you can see that arm just sliding up the side of the car. I think it punched out the window. It made a mess. So not good at all.
On the good side, though, Keith, we do have a new Corvette song, don't we?
I knew you'd like this, you being the DJ. Whenever there's a song about Corvettes, we always like to feature it. And some of them, Steve, are really bad.
Yes.
Some of them are just a lot of auto-tune and nothing else. It's a song called Corvette by a young British singer. Her name is Sapphire. It's no Life in the Fast Lane, but it's pretty good. She's a pretty girl, and she does this song. I guess the premise of it, lost love, she's waiting at the bar the same night, hoping to find the object of her affection, would return to pick her up in his Corvette, is basically the gist of it. And at the end of the video, her love interest shows up in a convertible C3 Corvette, so all is right in the world. We watched that video a few times, and it's not bad at all.
It really wasn't. My radio station is a classic rock station. We're not going to be playing it on the radio, but it was still nice for all the Corvette people that like Corvette Today. You can go watch the video at CorvetteBlogger.com.
That's a good one. And like I said, previous ones we've had have just not been good at all. So
yeah,
I'm always more amazed by ones that are pretty good. So yeah, definitely worth watching.
This is not a rap song, everybody. And the last couple songs that we've had about Corvette have been rap songs. So you'll enjoy this because it is not a rap song. Also, Keith, this is pretty cool. At Mecum auction in Dallas, a 2023 70th Anniversary Z06 Coupe sold for $247,500. Wow.
Yeah, our friends at Mako really know how to throw an auction. In Dallas, they actually had 5 2023 Corvette Z06s for sale. The top seller was the 70th anniversary. It was in the white pearl. It had the VIN number 84, and it was built back in January. So it had the full factory warranty with the car that was transferable. The MSRP on it was like $150,000, and the auction actually hammered it closed at $225,000. And so then with the buyer's commission, the total price out the door was $247,500. So a big sale for the owner of that car. And it came down to 2 guys. One guy was there live, one guy was on the phone, and they just kept going back and forth until it finally closed there at the $225,000. Big prices again for Z06s. The other 2 cars that sold in Dallas, there was 5 total. 3 of them sold. The other one sold for $214,500 and then $203,500. The 2 that didn't sell, they had high bids of $175,000 and $150,000. Market is obviously still red hot for these cars, and when they're right, they go for that big money. And of course, the anniversary editions, we think they'll do very well because they're the 1 year. The white pearl is only that 1 year color that people love. You love that color. It's going to do very well in the future here.
Yeah, definitely. And our final story, Keith, again, this is really sad. We had a PDR video showing a Chevy Silverado rolling over a C8 Corvette, and it was done on purpose. What the heck's going on with that?
Yeah, this is kind of our WTF story of the week. And there was photos going around of a Silverado sitting on top of an orange C8 Corvette Stingray. And your first thoughts are, oh, wow, it's an accident. Something happened there. Those photos came out. They were released by the fire department on Facebook. So that's how they went viral that way. But the story got much weirder because the owner of the Stingray, he released his PDR footage. He had his PDR running as a dash cam, essentially. It shows both vehicles at a 4-way stop. It's at nighttime, and they're facing each other. And then the truck just kind of moves slowly into the intersection and then runs directly at the Corvette Stingray, hits the car head on, pauses there for a second, and then drives up on top of the car. And when it drove up, the wheels came off the top of the roof and it trapped the occupants inside the car. They couldn't get out until the fire department got there. Once the fire and police were there, the owner of the car showed the video to the cops, and the guy was arrested who was driving the truck.
Good.
I guess keep those PDRs running at all time as dash cams, right, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, hey, it came in handy this time, didn't it, buddy?
Yeah, just one of these weird situations. You never know what people are thinking or what they're drinking. But yeah, this was a really weird one, and hopefully just stay safe out there.
Strange. Well, buddy, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. Have a good one. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, glad to be here. It's so much fun, and there's so much stuff happening in the Corvette world, so keep tuning in to CorvetteBlogger, and if we see you out on the streets, make sure you throw those arms up and wave.
Thanks for listening to Corvette Today, and please be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today podcast. And thanks to our sponsors. Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. Soul Performance Products at soulpp.com, the official exhaust of Corvette Today. True Wealth & Company at retirewithtrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at chevyusa.com.
You've been listening to Corvette Today with Steve Garrett. If you'd like to contact Steve with any thoughts on the podcast or ideas for guests on Corvette Today, You can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. Or connect with Steve on social media on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using @SteveGarrettDJ. Thanks again for listening to Corvette Today.